What's up? What are you doing? Well, guess what? I'm kind of up here being a little quiet now, but I'm outside the cabin. What happened? Oh, am I out hunting? Not yet. What are we doing? Well, we're going to show you. We're putting in the new windows. Oh, look at that. Brand new window in here. Plexiglass. It'll work for what I want to do. Holy shit. I got the one cut for the other side. I just got to put it in now. So, what are y'all doing this morning? It's Wednesday, December something or another. So, yeah, we just having a blast up here. So, I just got up here on my four-wheeler. Still need the rectifier so it'll charge. But I've got a little charge box that I brought up just in case. But I charged up the battery before I come up. I put the new carburetor on there. Runs fantastic. I just got to adjust the idle a little bit. It's nothing huge. But let me tell you a little story. The other day when I was up here, about 2 days ago, because I haven't been up here since Sunday, Monday, when it got bitterly cold. Yesterday I had stuff to do, so I kind of hung around the house. But remember I told y'all I put the buck's bones and basically the carcass down there, right down over there. I come up here today, the only thing left there is the deer head. The carcass been run off with, so I'm pretty certain it was a bear. And there are bear tracks everywhere up here, although it's kind of muddy and it's hard to see them. Big bear tracks up here. They've been coming up to the cabin sniffing. So I decided I'm gonna, instead of just having plastic over there, we're gonna put the winters in. So anyways, there'd be my four-wheeler down there. The carcass was right over there. The head's still over there. So might do me a little hunting today. But I've also got to do a couple other things up here. I kind of want to get that other window in. I may or may not get that in. It's there. I pulled the plastic down so it give me extra light. And now I have all the light I need in there. And everything I hung up there to dry, unfreeze and dry, it's all dried up. So we're good on that. Now I was thinking, where could I get a bunch of firewood? Well, let me show you. Other than these logs I got to pull out from down here, right? Remember that big tree that fell? It's all hollowed out on the inside. I can cut and split pieces and haul them up, but I also have a shit ton down the outside. So if I get hard up for firewood, I always go down there. Now, a bunch of these limbs and stuff, these tree bushes or whatever you want to call them, all these things right here. Later today, I'm going to be taking a bunch of those and throwing them up on the roof. The reason being is it will help camouflage that bright ass white roof. Yeah, you get to see it when it snows, but other than that, it's we're going to kind of camp. Everybody knows it's up here anyways. Everybody can see it now. So maybe I won't do that. But today is going to be 45-ish, 50-ish today. Tomorrow and the next day going to be even warmer. So I got to go down and fix my truck tomorrow. I got welding rods coming today, so I can weld the frame up so my truck's back together. For the other couple of days, I'm going to start really assholes and elbows chinking this thing. Today is not that day. I want to get these windows in. And I thought I bought plexiglass that was frosted. It's not, it's clear. So I got the plastic pulled off this one here, and we're going to put that in today. All I got to do is put the little boards and then put a couple little boards around the outside to hold it in there. Keep kind of honest people honest. I mean, if they really want to get in, they could shove them in, but oh well. Oh well. And start getting some of this set up in here. This is some of the stuff that I brought out from, that I swept up. So I brought it out here, threw it down, and now I'm not kind of cobble stepping these rocks anymore. Yay. So, anywho's and anyways. What else is there? Not a whole lot. So, I'm just being quiet because I want the deer and the bear to come back in. So, B is going good. And back here in the back, if you notice, this is where I've been digging out, making the mud. And we got a pile back up in here. Yeah. So I've got about half of it left to go. I actually want to build this up a little bit more. So. And then in a little while, up underneath here, like I said, going kind of up, and two, I'm gonna staple up that that tarp up here, and then I'm gonna whack it off. I'm gonna leave about maybe about that much hanging, so the water will run off the tarp, right, and protect the wood that I'm gonna put back in here. Cool? Cool. That sounds like a good idea to me. But anyways, I got the shovel out here. I leave it out here. So, I'm going to be, I've got to continue on with this all the way around. So, I'm just going to be digging and throwing. Now, this has got a ton of rocks in it. Right? And what I do is, when I get the rocks out of here, this is really rocky terrain. See all these big rocks right here? See that? Throw them down there in the bottom. Throw them all down there in the bottom, plus the dirt. But I want to get like a little walkway through here. And the reason being is, so I can walk back here and get my wood if I need when it's snowy. So we got a few, we're only going to have like 1 or 2 more really cold days. So I got a bunch of rocks here I can pick up, but those are going to go over here. They're going to go over there for a walkway. But anyways, that's what we got going today. I installed the big window. I got the little window to put in still. So, and chinking left to do. That's it. That's it. Oh, wanted to show you on the back of this chimney here what I done. And I keep saying I got to throw some mud in it. Mud and maybe a rock or two. Well, anyway, what I did is I went up here and went and got a rock. So the smoke and stuff, all the heat's coming out, going away. So it's not going to ruin that. Now I just set this up in here. I didn't do anything with it. So if you notice it's getting black back here and black back here, I got to put some mud in here. Mud this all up. So we're going to mud this up both sides so it doesn't burn my cabin. Don't want it to burn up. No, no, no. So anywho's and anyways, that's what we're going to do. And when I put that chinking going to be the same mud I'm chinking with. When I get that put on there and get it all packed down in there, well, just pack it down in there, right? When it gets heated up, because it's like good stuff, it's kind of like this. This is already turning in, I mean, some of it you can pick away and stuff on the outside, but the inside is like a freaking brick. Well, that's what I want that to do up there. Up there. So, but let's take a walk down here. I haven't been back here yet. Ooh, scratch marks. Big bear been back here. That big bear, he's been back here. There's a big old paw print right there in the mud. So he's been back here. Let's see what he's got down here. This corn pile down here look a mess now. Wouldn't be surprised if them bears been down here laying down in this sawdust. Oh yeah, look at that. That'd be a mess. That bear had been over here eating all this corn. In fact, that's a deer track. That's a bear track. That's a bear track over there. Deer, deer. So the deer been back here eating this. And the bear's been back here. And all the where the deer prints are at right over here. All this right in here. This is where I put that deer cane. It's like a, you put it in the ground, it's like a mineral block or a salt lick for deer. And they've been in on that. But that right there, that's a bear print. That's a big bear print right there. This right here. Move that out of the way. You see his pad? Toe, toe, toe. Oh yeah, big old bear. And if you look, right where this is at, there's a game trail right there. Comes right on down and go right on over here to it. Bet you 10 to 1. Let's see. Yeah, that's deer. Deer, deer. Deer, deer. That right there, that's bear. He's been coming down the same trail as the deer. So, yeah. And plus he's been walking down around through there and around. So, yeah. But I'm going to have to start gathering a bunch of this stuff that's up on the top that's not so wet, right? But see, that's a little green, but there's a bunch of this stuff in here that's dry. I want to gather a bunch of this up for little sticks to start fire. Whoa, something been in here digging. All right up in here. He must have been digging for something. But anyways, yeah. And then I have this log here and that log there to make boards out of at some point in time. I gotta have a new blade and bar for the chainsaw. It's getting rather dull and it wants to, so I'm just cutting the little stuff to put the windows in, and we'll let it go with that. Then I probably won't use the chainsaw for another 2 weeks. I gotta wait till payday rolls around. It's getting on to Christmas. So, oh yeah. Tags. My big game tags for deer and bear. I got a ton of them. Oh, y'all don't remember? It's my old thing to where I was, you remember right, I was shooting video over there when I was pulling logs to the cabin. Yeah, that's my old camera deal. In fact, I'll just take that out of that tree and we could put it somewhere. We don't know where, but we're gonna put it somewhere. Maybe we'll I'll just stick it right here on the cabin. Whack! Somewhere back up in there. Can't put it in there. We just there. That'll sit right there until I'm ready to move it. That way it's not stuck in a tree. But yeah, this is what we got going on today. And the forest is quiet because I've been up here messing around. They think there's a big predator around. That would be me. But my brother asked me the other day, he says, well, why don't you not kill the bears up here? Well, let me clue everybody in on this. There's at least 4 to 6 bears that are right here where this cabin's at. I don't mind them around, really. I do not mind them around. But in this holler, where it goes down to the house where I'm living, all the way up in here, there's about 20 bears. It's a ton of bear. And they go down and start messing around down the houses and getting into the garbage and breaking into sheds. And just, they're looking for something to eat. This is the bad time of year for the bears. So we get what we call bear damage tags, and I've got one in my hip pocket. And it's a license to shoot 2 bear a year. So you have to thin them out, just like a deer herd. You get too many up here, and then everything's fighting for the food. I know the bears hibernate for a couple of months up here. It's not long, but right now the bear and the deer are in competition, big time competition for all the food. That's why it's we just passed gun buck, but still archery till the end of the year. Bear is to the end of the year. You got to thin it all out. Otherwise, there's not enough food around to sustain all the wildlife. And it's called managing the herds. And yes, it's a bad thing that you have to kill the deer and you have to kill the bear. But if you don't, say like the big mama bears that are pregnant right now, and they'll come out of hibernation and have their cubs. If there's not enough food around, she'll have stillborn cubs. And so that starts cutting off the herd, so to speak. So there's a bunch of these big mama bears, the female bears, and the big male bears. There gets to be too many of them. So to sustain the wildlife, you have to knock a few of them off. Right exactly where this cabin is standing when I was up here looking around. And I'll show you exactly where. I was looking for a place to put this cabin, right? And so I was standing where this is at, right here on the bank. And I was looking, and this was nothing but a bunch of brambles up here on this road. And I looked over and I saw the pipeline, which is where it's, I mean, that didn't bother me there. There's a few trees here, and I was envisioning, okay, I could put a cabin between all these trees. It'll shade it in the summertime. They're healthy enough to where they're not going to blow over on the cabin in the wintertime. So anyways, I was standing right here. And because there was brambles here, I went to take a step. I went to go like this. And as soon as I went like that, I pulled my foot back. And right there on the ground, right here, right exactly right there, upturned was a bone. What I thought was a bone. And I pulled it out of the dirt. That's that baby bear skull I have. And what that means to me is for a baby bear to be mauled and killed, probably exactly the way that one was, it was a male bear came in and got one of the cubs from a mama bear from somewhere over in here, somewhere probably up over there. And he carried it over and ate it right here. So I have that baby bear skull. Well, on the front of this cabin up there, I'm going to hang that baby bear skull. So that's one reason why we got to take care of the herds. The deer herds, the bear. There's a bunch of coyotes up here that we need to knock down, a few of them. There's a ton of foxes up here. We need to knock some of those down. Squirrels, dime a dozen out here. They're everywhere. And it's hunting season on them till February. But like I said, if there's too many animals up here, the herd can't sustain itself. They'll start starving and dying. So you have to take care of the herds. And that's what I do as a hunter. I'm one of the people that take care of the herds. I tend not to shoot a bunch of the bucks. Of course, you can only get 2 a year during gun buck, and then another one during bow. Now, I missed getting my second buck during gun buck because I was busy with the cabin, which is no big deal. I had shots on other bucks, but I got my 10-pointer. And it's nothing about the horns. I'm all about the meat. I do not trophy hunt. I refuse to trophy hunt. In fact, the 10-pointer I got, one side of the horns is sheared off, so it's only got a point and then where it broke off. So it's got 5 over here and a point, and it's broke. I'm never into collecting the horns. I'm in for the meat. Okay, so I hope I'm a good steward for hunting. Whatever I kill, I'm going to consume. I'm going to eat. Doesn't matter if it's a bear or a snake or a fox. I won't eat a coyote. Don't worry about that. That's just thinning those out because you get too many of them and then they start destroying the deer population, and you don't want that. You want them to coexist together, right? If there's a sick deer or something, they take down the sick deer. Quite all right. But you don't want them taking down the healthy does. You don't want to, or the healthy bucks, because you get about 20 of them things crowding around a deer, they'll take a deer down. So, and there is a bunch of them up here. So you knock them down. Coyotes are all year long. You can shoot them whenever. They're nuisances, but they are still good for the ecology. But yeah, I hope I'm a good steward for what I do. Anything I kill, I eat. If I accidentally kill it, I'm still going to eat it. I'll go ahead and take it. I'm not going to let it just sit there and rot into the ground. And then, like what I was doing with the deer, when I get all the meat off the carcass, I'll bring the carcass up here to feed the bears and the foxes and the coyotes and the bobcats and the mountain lions and everything else that's up here that's a meat eater. So yeah, that's what this is all for. So I don't want to be a bad steward for hunting or anything like that. I try not to take deer when I don't have to. I mean, yes, during the year, it's not always a hunting season, but if push comes to shove, and I don't have enough money to buy meat for the month, I'll come up here and take a deer. That will sustain me for a month or a little bit more. I don't like to do that, but I will. I haven't yet, but it's always an option. That's why I say up here is Costco. I will never go hungry or thirsty up here. Never. Never in my entire life will I ever go hungry or thirsty. Not a lot of people can do this. Where you go shoot a deer and then you crawl up the hill and you drag it down and then you process it by yourself. Same with a bear. If anybody's ever pulled out a 500-600 pound bear, they know how much of a heartbreak it is to do it. And I still do it. I'm 61. But I've hunted bear before. I've gotten a few bear in my lifetime. But no, up here there is just way too many bear. And so what I'll do is I'll kill them. I'll make a bear rug out of them. I do not like to have them mounted. I'd rather have a bear rug. And I don't like the head, and I don't like the feet on them. I just want the rug part of it. Basically turn it into a blanket, a big heavy blanket. I just want the tied hand, or tan the hide, right? I want to have that. And then, I mean, if it, on a real cold night, say like I'm spending a night up here, and I have one of those bear skins in there, and it gets really cold, I just throw that over me. Warm. So, but I will keep the claws, I'll keep the teeth, and, you know, all the good stuff. I'm not a trophy hunter. I refuse to be a trophy hunter. If I see a big buck. Oh yeah, because you got to thin out. Basically, you want the bigger bucks anyways, because of you want to give the herd new blood, which is the younger bucks. You don't want to always have the offspring off an older buck, because then it's, I don't know, I think it's bad for the herds. So I like to take some of the older bucks. I'll take a young buck, doesn't bother me. There's some big bodied bucks up here, so. But yeah, I try not to, like I said, try not to take anything that's out of season. I try to be a good steward for the ecology. I don't kill a lot of small animals such as possums. They are great because they eat ticks. They don't carry rabies. They eat the crap that nothing else eats, like the grubs. Now, the bear eat grubs, but these guys kind of clean up after the bears. They're the ones that go around and clean up all the little parts of the carnage and stuff. So, great for the ecology. Now, I haven't seen any up here, but they are down there. But yeah, that's what we're doing up here. And I wanted to get a cabin up here for hunting, just in case it gets cold. You go out for a couple hours, you come back in, warm up by the fire, and you can go back out. Instead of sitting in a damn tree stand and freezing your butt off all day. That's not my idea of fun. I'll go stand by a tree and hunt. But yeah, I wanted to have this here for hunting, primarily. I also wanted it here for camping. Because during the summer, yeah, I come up here. There's no snake hunting up here, but if I do happen to see them, I'll take them because I eat them. You have to thin out the snake populations too. Like earlier this year, I think it was in July or August, I was starting on the footings here, and I ran across that copperhead and took that because as I was walking, it slithered towards me and struck at me. Wrong answer. you just screwed up there, Johnson. So, but yeah, I take the animals when I need to, and if I take them, I'm eating them. I don't care. I got the skin for the copperhead down there at the house. I've already tanned it. The deer hides, I should have tanned them this year, but I've been so busy with this that I didn't get a chance to. Now the bear, I will. I'll tan those hides, but I still have at least 3 deer to get and 2 bear for the big game. And I've got about 15 days to do it, which is no problem. If I start to be really, really quiet in about an hour, they're going to be right down there, because I've been up here since July, and I've watched them walk around. I know what they're doing. They may not be down there today. They might be down there tomorrow, which is fine. The bear, I have to get up either early, or just get lucky. But they're coming down here to the cabin. They're hitting the corn piles. So I know that they're up here. I may have to stay up here and spend a night in the cabin when I don't really want to. and then get out here extra early, because if I ride the four-wheeler up or the truck up, then it disturbs them and they run up the hill and la-di-da-di-da. If I'm up here already, I just climb that hill right there up by that big old rock that there's a hibernation cave for the bear. There, it's right there, straight up the hill from my cabin. So I can crawl up there, and when they get done over on this hill and they eat on the corn pile or whatever, they go up the hill. That's where I saw that one. It was going up the hill after it ate on the corn pile. I can take them there. And there's a bunch, so have no fret. There's going to be a lot of bears still up here. And in fact, there is a pregnant female. I mean, you can tell she's pregnant. And she hibernates up there too. So I'm very careful. I won't take her, because she is going to add to the population of bear. And next year I can get another couple of bears, but I won't take her, and I won't take the cubs, because the cubs don't go out on their own till the second year. So when the cubs go out on their own, they're big enough to shoot. And most of the bears around here will dress out 500-600 pounds. So yeah, have no fret. I'm not killing all the bears. There are a ton of them up here. So anywho's and anyways, I'm gonna let y'all go. I was just showing you getting the windows put in the cabin. Then I got to do, in the next few days, I got to do some chinking, a lot of chinking. It'll be good to do it, be nice and warm, and at the same time, I'll come up here and start dragging some of these logs down. I'll sharpen my chainsaw blade up, because I don't care if it goes yoop on a log that I'm going to cut up for firewood. I got to get some firewood cut up and get ready to split. Right now I don't have to split any because it's not cold. So what I'll do is I'll cut them, and then on the back side over here I'll just put the logs in on the back side, and then when I need some firewood, I'll just be grabbing logs, split them, and I'll get a bunch of them done up, and I'll throw them in the cabin, and that way I can have the fire. Yes, it's going to be a little bit green, but I do have up here, there's a bunch of dry logs up here, and they're not rotten. You don't ever want to burn a rotten log. They're punky and they don't like to burn. They just smoke. But there's parts of these trees that I cut up earlier. Those are kind of green, but there's a bunch of, if you look, there's a bunch of leaning trees right there. They're actually broke off and they're just leaning there. There's a bunch up over here. When I come down off the hill, I seen them. There's a couple good sized trees over there. And they've been dead for a year or two. So they're nice and dried out. All I got to do is cut them up. And when I split them, they're dry. You put those dry pieces in with a little bit of green wood, you're good to go. So anywho's and anyways, I'm going to let y'all go so I can get kind of measure out what I need for this second little window to put it in, but the first big window's in. That was my main thing. I wanted to get the windows in today, and I will. But it's getting about that time to go do some hunting. So I will probably go do that. And after that, I got a little bit of trash here to pick up, but I've got some of this dirt. I'm going to widen this out right up over here and throw at least a pile of dirt here to where these logs will sit up there. And I'll probably cut them short to where they sit up in here. And I can put all my split logs here. That way all I got to do is carry them into the cabin. So, got very little cleanup to do. I've got a bunch of sawdust in there to clean up, but we're getting it going. And I got a bag of trash to haul down today. So we'll get that, because I hauled up the windows today, and I'm going to haul up and back. So I will get all that stuff done. Maybe I get a shot on a bear today, I hope. Right now they're over there, up there, and way over there. So anyways, I'm going to let you all go. I know I said that a couple of times, but I am going to let y'all go. We're just having a good time up here today, so I will see you later, okay? See ya!